What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. Sorry about that, real quick. Didn't realize I had muted myself. Um, Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, of course, coming at you with another preview video today. We're looking at the Penn State Nittany Lions. My grandparents, huge Penn State fans, went to school there, grew up there. So I kind of pull for this team. I always hope that they do good, but we're going to try, we try to be fair. We try to be unbiased when giving these predictions. I would want nothing more than to see Penn State and Alabama face off in a bowl or in the championship. Just for the sake of me and my grandparents, I think it'd be awesome. But sometimes you can't always get what you want, and you cannot predict. I mean, you can predict, but you just never know what's going to happen in college football. So let's go. Let's take a look at what this team could do in 2023. Sean Clifford departs. You bring in some seniors, when you look at this team, and Tank Smith is a running back, who's a redshirt senior from Pittsburgh, and Daquan Hardy is a redshirt senior quarterback, and you bring back so much in seniors and juniors. You bring back Keaton Ellis, Johnny Dixon, cornerback Storm Duck transferred to Penn State. Now, Storm Duck, I believe, was at UNC, if I'm not mistaken. He comes in. How much will he contribute? Great athlete. How much can he contribute to the secondary? That'll be a big question there. There's no telling what we're going to get out of Penn State. I really, if I'm being honest, that I know of, I know for sure that Sean Clifford is gone. I believe that Rose Bowl against, who did they play? They played Utah. That Rose Bowl, he said, was pretty much his last game. And speaking of that Rose Bowl, speaking of last year, you take a look back at what they did. They did win that Rose Bowl. They went 11-2. They finished third behind Michigan and Ohio State, respectively, in the Big Ten East, which I would say and argue probably the best division in college football right now. Just ahead, I would say just ahead of the SEC West, because even LSU and you look at Ole Miss and what Lane Kiffin's doing, and then you got Alabama, of course. The SEC West has to be one of the better divisions in football, in my opinion. The question is it the best? And right now, I would say no, not exactly the best division, but pretty darn close. So we'll just have to wait and see what the teams do this year in those divisions. Again, you're watching a Penn State 2023 football season preview. We're trying to do every Power 5 team. I'm not sure if we're going to get it done, but we can try. And I'm going to keep pumping these out for you guys and talking about some of these teams. Penn State last year, again, 11-2, won the Rose Bowl over Utah, finished third in the Big Ten East. Their two losses were to Michigan on the road, and they lost by 13 at home to Ohio State. Those are not bad losses. They shut down Maryland. They blew out Rutgers. Blew out Minnesota. Struggled against Northwestern. Northwestern has some defense, though. Blew out 41-12 at Auburn. That was a home and home. They struggled in the Purdue game on the road, but they got it done 35-31. They just did a phenomenal job this year. I really do believe that James Franklin is the guy for Penn State, and I really believe this. I think they are a player or a recruiting class or one play away from being on the brink. And remember, they did it in 2016. But can they get back to a Big Ten title game and win the division? That's a big question for the Nittany Lions. And, I really believe that they're one player away from doing that. I say that, but I know I'm saying that they're going to take a step back this year. But I don't know. I mean, you got on the coaching staff, um, you know, Manny Diaz. Who else do you have here? Let me pull this up. Football coaches: James Franklin. You got Mike Urich, who is the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach. You got Manny Diaz from Miami, who I believe is a good defensive mind and knows linebackers. He played. You got the special teams coordinator, Stacy Collins. You got defensive recruiting coordinator and cornerbacks coach, Terry Smith. I could go down the list. I mean, they got some big names out there, and guys that they've been able to keep from for quite some time. They've been able to keep their coaches. So anyway, back to 2023. Let's go ahead and pull up their schedule for this year, because I really think, even though they lost their quarterback, even though they lost the running back, they lost this, they lost that, I think that they have recruited greatly the past couple years, and they do tend to play a little bit of inexperienced guys so that way they can have experience. They kind of rotate their backs, they kind of rotate. It's never just one running back, and so, and they got a 5-star. They do have a 5-star quarterback on their roster. Name slips my mind. Hold on, I can pull this up. Sort by position. Drew Aller. That's who it is. Drew Aller is a 5-star. Will he be the guy for Penn State? We'll find out. Let's take a look at their schedule real quick. I'll full screen this here. You open up, interestingly, first off, their spring game next month. We'll find out a lot about teams in their spring games. So, again, some of these are pre-spring game, previews that I do. But you open up the season, it's going to be a challenge, but maybe you could get it done. You got a home and home with West Virginia and the Mountaineers. Shout out to Golden Blue Dude. Go subscribe to him. Does amazing college football content. Then you got Delaware, at Illinois, Iowa, at Northwestern. You get a bye week. UMass, at Ohio State, Indiana, at Maryland, Michigan, Rutgers, and at Michigan State. Now, I think what you have to worry about if you're Penn State is your division and what you do there. I think they should be better. They should be better than the West. I think, first off, I think Indiana is in the – actually, I think they are in the West. I'll double check, but teams out of the West, like a Rutgers or whoever, let me see. Am I getting this mixed up? Hold on here. I know pretty soon we won't have to worry about divisions. But I think they still have the divisions this year. Rutgers, Indiana, Maryland, they are in the East. Purdue, or at least if you want to look at this year's schedule for them, they got Iowa from the West, and then they got Northwestern from the West. Okay. But yeah, they should be better outside of Michigan and Ohio State. I still believe unless something happens at this moment, I'm not ready to downgrade a team like Penn State. I know they lost some talent. Guys are going to be drafted. Joey Porter, Sean Clifford. I could go down the list. You're going to have guys drafted from Penn State, which means that they lost talent, which means that they should take a step back this year. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say that I think that they will, but their losses are not bad losses. I'm going to say because of defense, I would be careful about the Iowa game. I'd be careful at Northwestern, at Ohio State. Obviously, I mean, the Buckeyes here, but what are they going to look like without CJ Stroud? Indiana, would I be careful about Indiana? I don't know. You get them at home. If it's on the road, that's one thing, but they should win a majority of their home games, even in the Big Ten. Indiana, Michigan's one of the better teams. At Maryland, does Maryland have much improvement? Is Talia coming back? Again, haven't looked at a team like Maryland, so I don't know. But this is going to be a tough schedule for them, and it's all going to be based on what can they do with the new guys and what they have this season. I'll go ahead and I'll give a prediction. I'm going to say 8-4. I'm going to say that I try to give at most. I know some of you out there say they'll take a huge step back. They'll go 6-6. They'll go 7-5. They'll do something crazy. Maybe I'm underestimating them, but I'm going to stick to 8-4. I don't see them getting 10 wins. And I definitely, I mean, they got to make a bowl game. I mean, James Franklin is that dude. He will get them to a bowl game. So it's 6-6, maybe at minimum. If they really are having a down year and problems. But here's what I got. I'll give you the 4 losses. I'm going to say they lose that home game to Iowa really close. I think we could agree, though, on Ohio State. We could probably agree on Michigan, even though it is at University Park, Beaver Stadium, and Happy Valley. But then, late in the year, this team intrigues me to come up a little bit this year. Could East Lansing be rocking? And do they? I think that's a trap game right there at the end of the season. I know it's weird to say it's a trap, at the end of the year, but rivalry weekend, crazy things happen. And I think the Spartans, man, Mel Tucker, got to do something this year, got to improve, probably will improve. I'm going to say the Nittany Lions go to East Lansing. And I'm not going to say they get their tail whipped. I'm not going to say they lose big time. But if it's a close game, that's what I want to know is if they get in these close games. Because what we've seen from Penn State, like listen to me, they can compete with Michigan. They can compete with Ohio State. But you get in a close game with those teams, they lose it. I don't know what to expect as far as how close that Ohio State game is going to be in Columbus. I don't know how close it's going to be against Michigan. I guarantee you, though, a team like Michigan State could be intriguing this year with Peyton Thorne, who I believe is coming back. Mel Tucker, Michigan State's recruiting okay. Again, a team we'll look at some other time, but yeah, I don't know what it is. I would say 8-4, losses to Iowa, Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State. 8-4 for the Nittany Lions in 2023 with James Franklin. I love you guys. Gonna get out of here. Jesus loves you. He's got a great plan. If you trust and believe that, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below what you think Penn State might do in 2023. I know it's still early, but we're trying to knock out every Power 5 team this offseason. So I want to hear from you guys on Penn State. I got them 8-4. They could go 9-3. They could even hit 10 wins again. But if they're taking a step back from 11 wins, what they had last year, they went 10-2 in the regular season, won the Rose Bowl. If they're taking a step back from that, you would expect maybe less wins on the schedule a little bit this year. I got them 8-4, but I want to hear from you guys. I love y'all. Have a great day. Ballard Sports Media. Check it out. I love you. Peace.